Anime Elitist, critical reviews for critical viewers. Hey guys, me here, and today I'll bring you a review of Arslan Senki. Think of this one as a Game of Thrones for kids. Emphasis on the for kids part though. It doesn't have all the bloody, gory, sexy bits from its darker doppelganger. Doesn't mean it's not a pleasant watch for any age though. It does prioritize telling a light, enjoyable, appealing story more than a serious, watertight, and mature one. So if you're looking for something from the latter category, go watch something else. Now for the overview. Arslan Senki has one 25-episode season and one 8-episode season, with a third season coming out in the summer of 2017. I'll leave a link with info about the third season in the description. Anyway, Arslan Senki is both subbed and dubbed. The setting is an alternative ancient world with different empires vying for power. This one does a great job in the themes department with lots of messages about what makes a good leader, as well as ones relating to religion, and more specifically about religious tolerance and the paradoxical nature of expansionist religions that claim to be peaceful and represent equality, but allowing non-followers to be treated as subhuman. The religion in the show is of course fictional, and the show isn't targeting any specific real-world religion. Another one of its major themes is slavery. Some of the tags I would give it are historical, strategy, huge battles, and grand adventure. If I had to compare this one to another anime, I'd say the general essence of the show is not too different from Kingdom. The stories, however, are completely different, and so are the protagonists. Another small difference between the two shows is that the fighting in Arslan Senki is more realistic, but not by much. It still has its fairly ridiculous aspects. This show is full of military strategy, but it's not the focus of the show. And as for how realistic or viable some of the strategies actually are, well, some of them certainly won't stand up to a Lindy Beige inspection. But if your take on military history is more casual, you won't be too bothered by the small details, and the strategies unfolding will bring you much enjoyment. The show overall has a medium-high amount of plot holes, so you're going to need some suspension of disbelief to enjoy it completely. One thing to note about the protagonist is that he's pretty kind-hearted or soft. If you tend to be the type of viewer who puts yourself in the protagonist's shoes and gets mad every time the protagonist does something that you wouldn't do or that you think is dumb, this show won't appeal to you since the protagonist is constantly being nice and merciful to a point that borders on stupidity. Another thing about the anime that I find a little irksome at times is that it feels like it's stalling the conclusion. The plot overall is decent, but does have plot holes like I mentioned earlier. At times it can be extremely predictable, but at other times the plot can catch you completely by surprise. I'm guessing that the target audience in this one is young teens, so don't expect something dark and gritty, but be aware that it still doesn't sugarcoat too much, and it does show some human cruelty, but overall the tone of the show is light and upbeat. I'm not saying it's bad for being targeted at a younger audience, but just keep it in mind when you're deciding whether this show is what you're looking for. I'd say it's family friendly overall, with a note that it does have some boobylicious chicks in stupidly skimpy outfits, but the great messages still make me recommend it for kids. For the rating, I would give it one bullet hole for some blood, but nothing particularly bad or gory, no naughty bits are shown. Now for some of the cliches. There are the silly female outfits, the fact that unnamed soldiers are stormtrooper levels of harmless and are readily dispatched by any named character even if that character should rightfully lose to a trained soldier, and there's a ton of small inaccuracies in the fights, and silly occasions when the antagonist lets people get away because it isn't the right time to kill them. I'd say the grip is about a 7. The narrative format is an 8. Overall, I'd give this show an 8 out of 10. It's a simple, enjoyable watch, but it's no masterpiece and certainly isn't trying to be one. I'd recommend it to my younger viewers or anyone looking for something that's light but still substantial and takes itself seriously. Hope you enjoyed watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a little like and a comment down below and subscribe for more. See you next time. I'm out.